Welcome back to Soft Wash Evolution. In this video, I'm going to show you exactly how to start your own pressure washing or soft washing business. And if you've been on YouTube at all lately, every single video is going to say the same thing. Here's all the equipment you need to buy to get started. The truth is, that's exactly why 80% of the new guys fail. They go blowing all the money on gear before they even know how to land a customer. In this video, I'm going to show you the real first step that will make or break your business, and it has nothing to do with equipment. So I'm going to work on washing this brand new home that's not being lived in yet to tell you how to start your pressure washing and soft washing business. Hopefully you already have a job and you're working right now, whether it's part-time or full-time. Maybe you already have the wash business started and you're doing it on the side. You've got the side hustle, as everyone likes to call it. Either way, there's a couple different things you're going to want to do. The first is to not fall for the equipment trap. I have another video about that. Do not go out and just start buying all the equipment that's advertised out there, whether it's on YouTube or anywhere else on social media. Everyone is going to advertise all the stuff you need. In fact, if you search how to start a wash business, everything that's going to come up, every video, every article, everything, every post is going to be the equipment that you need. Here's the equipment. Here's what I would buy. Stop with the equipment. The equipment should be the last thing on your mind. You have to do first is research the business. You have to find a business plan. Is pressure washing and soft washing even a viable option in your area? Are you going to work where you live, or are you going to have to travel, 50, 60 miles in another direction to get into an area where pressure washing and soft washing is, needed more? Maybe you're in a very rural area where there's just not a lot of houses. There's not going to be a lot of customers. You're going to have to be willing to travel. Do some research on that. What are other companies in your area charging? Are they making money? Are you seeing a high turnover? Do they come up, does the business start and then stop within 5 years and they're on to something else? There's a ton of groundwork you're going to have to do before you even think of starting it on your own. The ones who don't and skip that step are the ones that are going to fail. They'll start up and say, I bought my rig, or I built my rig, I've got the truck, the trailer, the wash rig, whatever it is. Got the biggest pressure washer known to man. I've got the surface cleaner that's, the size of a lawnmower, so they can wash those driveways that everyone loves to wash. They do it for a couple months, they run out of customers, and then they say, oh, pressure washing and soft washing is oversaturated. I shouldn't have done it. There's too many other guys doing it for too cheap. I'm going to go do something else. That's pretty much the story of, if I had to guess, 70 to 80% of the people that start up, because they didn't do the first step. One, they went out and they bought all the equipment first they thought they needed, and they got in the hole right away. And they didn't do the research. I make fun of the driveway washers a lot on this channel if you haven't watched me before, because so many guys start up in my area and that's what they do. They have an 8 or 10 gallon a minute pressure washer, an enormous buffer tank, a huge truck or a trailer. They've got a surface cleaner that's 30 inches across, or two of them, and they're advertising driveway cleaning. Look right there at my customer now at this new construction home. Try to settle the camera. Those are long blacktop driveways. I haven't seen a concrete driveway in years. Well, I've seen a few, and they're usually on very, very old homes that are crumbled, and definitely not going to get them as a wash customer. It's just knowing your area. If there's no concrete driveways in my area, why would I wash driveways? There's parking lots, there's parking garages, sure, but the average customer around here, it's house wash, roof wash, gutter cleaning. Yeah, we do concrete patios and decks and things. I surface clean a lot. I do have one on my truck. I use it frequently, but it's more of an add-on service. So I don't gear my business towards pressure washing flat work. If you're down south where they do a lot of that, then sure, that could probably be your primary focus. But when you gear your business the wrong way and don't do that groundwork, the research on what you should be targeting, you're already off to the races the wrong way. This is the house that I'm doing right now. This place is brand new. See these gutter spouts, they're keeping the water off the new hydro-seeded lawn. The place is literally brand new. The customer moves in next week, or they do their walkthrough. That house right there is too, the white one. I know, because I washed that one about a week and a half ago. I do all the houses for this construction company that builds these new homes. I wash them right before the new customer, or the new homeowner, gets turned over and gets their new house. There's a ton of new construction in my area. I targeted this type of work. I reached out to the builders, to the realtors, said, hey, you have the interior of the house cleaned right before you turn it over to the new homeowner, right? How about having the outside washed? I washed one for free for him, showed him what I could do. The builder actually had me wash his personal house of this company, and now This year, I've probably washed 50 to 60 of these homes, and it's September. I'll probably do another 10 before the year's out. Next year, it'll be just as many, and that's just this one builder. I've got 2 or 3 of them that I do this for. And that's specific to my area. Maybe in your area, they don't wash, you know, nobody's washing homes, new construction homes. It's pretty much just rinsing it off, what I'm doing right now. I'm not even using any chemical. A little bit of soap and water. But that's just something that I targeted when I started my business. It was one of the first things I got into, washing new homes. And if you fall for the equipment trap and you get yourself upside down in money and you owe money before you're making any, you're in a bad spot already. You're setting yourself up to get frustrated. So if you have a job now and you're working, whether it's full-time or part-time, suggest keeping it for as long as you can. I know that's a tough pill to swallow, because if you're thinking of starting your own business to work for yourself, to be your own boss, a lot of it I can already get into your head, because I was there too, is you cannot stand the job you're at now. You don't like the people, you don't like what you do, and it's a pain to even wake up in the morning, because you know you're going into 8 or 10 or 12 hours of torture. So, but I suggest keeping it for as long as you can, especially if you've got insurance, things like that you need. Keep it and work at the other job as long as you can while you're doing, and most people will say, yes, you work at that job and you save money so that you can buy the equipment. Wrong. You work at that job and you spend your time doing research of your new business. How are you going to start it? Who are you going to target? What type of equipment will you need and why? And then weigh some options out. What are the other guys doing? What are they not doing? Why aren't they doing it? So if you research my area, you'd say very few people are advertising flat work, driveway cleaning. Why is that? Well, that's because there are no flat work jobs in this area, or very few. It's a lot of siding cleaning, a lot of steep roofs that have moss on them and algae. There's a lot of insurance companies that will say get the moss off the roofs. So roof washing's become very big in this area. You have to have, so for that, you need a real soft wash pump. You know, the wash guys in this area who only downstream, they're definitely leaving a lot of money on the table because they don't have the ability to roof wash, or a real ability to roof wash anyway. They try to X-jet their little 2 or 3%, and when you're dealing with thick moss, it just doesn't do it. But they try, and then they end up calling me anyway. But that's just one of the things that you're going to have to research. It's not as hard as it seems. You can get on Google right now and just look up the other companies in the area where you are going to be working. Are there a lot of other wash companies? What are they advertising? What's their website look like? Are they owned locally, or are they a franchise? Don't be afraid to call them, find out. Ask other people, their other homeowners, friends, family, have they had their houses washed, or driveways, or roofs? If so, who did they use? How much did it cost? What was the experience like? There's a lot of research you can do, and don't just do one. Don't just say, yeah, you know, I had a friend who had his house washed. He said this guy did it and he charged this much, so I know I can do it too. Not necessarily. You know, you're gonna to do it, dig in a little deeper. I just got to get this porch, the overhead done, so I'm trying to duck the camera down. We'll be out of this area, and we're gonna keep rolling. And if you're not working right now and it's more of an ASAP thing, like you've got to start this business and start making money right away. If you're into that scenario, you probably already bought equipment. It's fine if you did. I definitely suggest starting smaller. You don't need the biggest pressure washer that's made. I hear that all the time. Guys will say, I'm just going to get the biggest one with the most gallons per minute so I can work as fast as possible. If you don't have, you know, a backlog of 20, 30 houses on your schedule for the next 2 weeks, then why are you worried about going fast? You've got plenty of time. You should be buying an efficient pressure washer. You can do it with a big box store DeWalt pressure washer from Home Depot if you really wanted to. Those will do the job. They will take longer. They won't be as efficient, but it doesn't cost as much to buy one or to operate them. And you'll have less overhead. You're not paying off a big $4,000 Honda V-twin 10 gallon a minute pressure washer. You can spend, you know, less than $1,000 and get a small 2 gallon a minute one with a downstream injector and 50 feet of hose and accomplish the same thing. It would just take much longer, but it can be done. It's the same thing with the soft wash pump. You don't need to go buying a Comet or AR gas drive or gas-powered soft wash pump, remote blend manifold, electric hose reels. You don't need that stuff yet. Those are all upgrades that come later. When you get to the point where you have so many customers, you're turning them away, and you say, now I need to be more efficient, I need to go faster, then yeah, you can upgrade to a bigger soft wash pump, bigger pressure washer that goes faster, electric hose reels so you can reel them up quicker and get out of there, get on to the next job. But if you're still paying for advertising, or you don't have customers to fill your schedule, don't be worried about cutting time off the job you're on. Worry about getting more jobs. And that is going to be why most of these businesses will fail. It's the research at the beginning that people are not doing. And I've seen so many of them start up and stop. And you're going to make mistakes. Everybody does. Or you're going to come up with an idea, have an idea, think it's going to work, and that idea is not going to work. It happened to me. I really thought that fleet washing, I mean, if you see my other videos, I do a little bit of fleet washing now. I mean, it is minute compared to this house washing, soft washing type. I really thought that I was going to be doing a large amount of fleet washing because one of the first big customers I got had me doing an entire fleet of tractor trailers, and I was doing it routinely. And then I got a couple more of those. This stuff you see on the driveway right here, I'm actually not driveway washing, it's the hydro seed. They spray this seed and fertilizer, this little stuff all over to establish the lawn quickly. Problem is, the guys that do it are sloppy as could be, so they get it all over the place. It really, the rain will rinse it off over time, but it just looks bad. Plus, new construction home, they had probably some parts and equipment and materials delivered. You can see the little tire tracks and stuff of the skid steer or the forklift or whatever delivered it. They just get mud everywhere. The lawn's not really established yet. So part of what I do when I rinse these houses is I wash the driveways off right here. Just get the mud and dirt out of here so the new customer gets here, they get a new clean home. Advertise that. Not a lot of people do it. But I made that mistake when I started. I really thought I was going to be getting a ton of fleet washing contracts. So I bought a big 8-gallon-a-minute pressure washer, a hot water one. If you don't know, hot water machines are extremely expensive. Needless to say, I used it for a year. I still have the hot water, the hot box portion. I sold the big pressure washer that was attached to it, but I still have that hot box, and it never gets used anymore. I winterized it and haven't touched it probably in a year and a half or 2 years. It was really unneeded. The only thing you need hot water for, I thought I was going to be doing a ton of fleet washing, degreasing big equipment. I thought I was going to be doing restaurants, degreasing the dumpster areas, because that's what's advertised all over on YouTube. You're going to get all these fast food restaurants that need to be cleaned. You're going to get them all. Fleet washing, you're going to get all of it. Well, fleet washing wasn't really in demand in this area as much as I thought it was, and the ones that were in demand really just wanted not under contract. They just wanted 1 or 2 things done, and then you wouldn't hear from them again for months on end. It seemed like that anyway, even with advertising. And so that really didn't pan out the way I thought it was. And as far as the cleaning the dumpster pads and the fast food restaurant drive-thrus that's all over YouTube, again, the research shows in this area, not a lot of it. There are a lot of restaurants like anywhere else, especially if you go to the more urban areas. But what I found, greasy fast food restaurants are dirty, and they're probably going to stay that way. Not all of them are willing to pay you to come clean them. So don't believe everything you see on YouTube or anywhere else. I know you're watching it right now, watching this video, but you've got to do the research in your specific area. Find out what's actually happening, and don't jump on the equipment trap. Definitely don't buy something $20,000, $30,000, $40,000 where you're making payments for years on a piece of equipment that's not even going to pay for itself. Build your own rig. I've got another video on how to do that. It's more efficient to start with a trailer. You can actually have everything you need just in the back of a pickup truck with a ladder rack, and you can start your business. Start small. It's going to be frustrating for a little while, but at least you won't have a payment to be made. That's my spiel on why most guys fail. Hope you enjoyed this video, found it helpful. I got to rinse the rest of this brand new house off and collect my check. On to the next one. Thanks.